Welcome back to my channel. My name's Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire, and today I filmed this glowy, pinky look perfect for spring and summer. I was inspired by Gigi Hadid's makeup look at the recent Met Gala, and I wanted to recreate this beautiful pop of color that she wore on her lip. Instead of using a true red, I used this beautiful Dior lipstick. It's shade 784. It's a magenta pink, and I've really been enjoying this look for spring. As an attorney, this makeup look has been perfect to rock to court. Summer is coming up and a bright pop of color is perfect to wear if you want to wear minimal makeup. This lipstick is really a whole moment on its own, and I've lately loved letting the lips be the star of the show. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, please keep watching. Hope you enjoy it. For my eyebrows, I used this Gucci eyebrow pencil in the shade 3. I really like the shade, and it has a good spoolie on the other side of the pencil, and it's a nice thin pencil, so it's easy to get precise strokes. It's a perfect neutral brown color for my eyebrows. I do recommend this eyebrow pencil by Gucci if you're looking for a good one. And on my face, I just used the St. Jane SPF 30. It is the Luxury Sun Ritual Pore Smoothing SPF. It has a tint to it, so it doesn't leave a white cast, which I really like. And then I used this Sealed Topicals Active Scar Primer. You can find both of these products at Sephora. So for today's look, I'm gonna mix these two for my foundation. This is the Very Valentino foundation. It has an SPF of 26, and the shade I picked up is a shade MN3. And I'm gonna be mixing it with this new Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. I picked up the shade 3 since we're going for a really glowy look. So I brought out my Kit Co palette here. Just take a pump of the Valentino and a pump of the Dior. I'm gonna mix the two together with my finger. I'm gonna go in with this Kolinsky foundation brush and spreading it all out for a nice even layer across the skin. I only did one pump of each so that the base doesn't look too heavy today, since the focus is really going to be on the lips. This is only my second time using this Valentino foundation, so the first time I used it, I did really like it. If any of you have tried this Valentino foundation or the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Making sure to spread it down my neck and a little bit on my ears so it doesn't look like I'm wearing a mask. For concealer today, I brought two out that are a couple of my holy grails. I brought out the Hourglass Vanish concealer. This is in the shade Apricot. And then I also brought out the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk concealer in the shade 4. First, I'm going to go in with the Hourglass concealer, and because it has a slightly pink undertone, it'll be good to correct any blue and purple hues, to color correct a little bit of that hyperpigmentation and melasma that I have peeking out. It's a very high coverage foundation, so a little bit goes a really long way. And then just to brighten things up, I'm gonna go in with the Luminous Silk Concealer by Armani. I'm just going to add a little bit in the areas where I want to brighten. Going in with the Kolinsky concealer brush. I really like using Kolinsky. It's a natural hair brush for cream products, because the hair is really soft but also resilient, and it holds up really well to liquid and cream makeup products. I'm also going to be taking this concealer on the eyelids so that it can act as an eyeshadow primer. Going back in with my foundation brush, I'm just making sure it's all nice and blended in. And then for loose powder, today I'll be using the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Easy Bake Powder. Taking a little bit in my IKEA bowl. I'm gonna go in with my damp beauty blender, dipping into the powder bowl. I'm gonna make sure there are no creases underneath the eyes before setting it. And I'm looking up into a mirror and just pushing the powder on top of the areas where I put the concealer previously. To set the concealer on the eyes, I'm gonna use this BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose collab. It's the N14 brush. Dipping back into the powder. making sure there are no creases, and then just going in and setting it. This brush is useful because it's smaller than the Beauty Blender and it allows you to really get into those crevices and those hard to reach areas. I'm going to go in with a little bit of cream contour. I'm using this Kevyn contrast stick. It is in the shade Shape. I got this during the Beautylish gift card event to try out and to compare it to my beloved Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit, since both of them are really similar in tone and perfect cream contour colors. So instead of drawing it directly on my face, I'm going to just take this clean House Labs foundation brush and I'm going to just dip into the stick, putting it a little bit on this brush, pulling the skin back so it's nice and smooth, right underneath that cheekbone and right along the jawline. I'm going to carry a little bit of that same cream contour on my temples. And a little bit underneath the chin as well. If your face is already thin or you have more pronounced facial features than I do, you might not even need a cream contour, so feel free to skip this step. I'm going to be going in with this new YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze bronzer that I recently picked up. I got this from Nordstrom and it's in the shade 3. Isn't that gorgeous? YSL always has the most beautiful, luxurious packaging. It's nice and cushy too. I'm going to be taking this Takeda Red Squirrel brush. Since it's Red Squirrel, it's super soft, not pokey at all on the skin. It's one of the softest natural hair types, and the application will be softer than if I were to dip into the bronzer with a synthetic brush or with a goat hairbrush. But I'm going in with a Red Squirrel brush on purpose so that we can get a lighter wash of this bronzer. This bronzer is a really soft formula and it goes on super smoothly. You see how there's minimal to no patchiness on the skin. It's not disturbing the foundation underneath, but it's still giving that nice sun-kissed bronzy glow that we love for the spring and summer months that are approaching. I'm going in kind of light-handedly with this bronzer, just ever so lightly tapping it on the skin. I really want the focus of this makeup look to be more on the blush and on the cheeks and on mainly the lips. I could swipe this brush on my skin all day. It feels so nice and soft. I also recently picked up these Dior Forever Glow Maximizers. I got them in these 4 shades. These are multi-use liquid highlighters. Not strictly for liquid highlighting. They're more like illuminators for the face. They could be used all over the face. And I got it in the shade Rosy, then Peach, then this one's Nude, and this one's in the shade Pink. So for this look, I think we're gonna try the shade Pink and maybe mix in a little bit of the Rosy shade as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this Rosy shade and put a couple dots on the cheek. And then right above that, I'm going to put a couple of dots of the shade Pink. And I'm going to go in with my damp Beauty Blender to blend this out. I'm going to also try to use the warmth of my finger to really make sure it's nice and blended out. I'm going to take a little bit more of the pink shade, a little bit on the brow bone to highlight the brow bone, and a little bit over the eyebrows, and a couple of dots on the forehead. I'm still getting used to these Dior Maximizers, so if you've tried them, let me know your thoughts. The jury's still out for me. I'm still getting used to playing around with them. I will let you know after I get more use out of them if I recommend them. If you would like to hear a follow-up on that, please let me know in the comments below. For blush today, I brought out this Hourglass Ambient Blush in the shade Sublime Flush. It's this really beautiful pink and lilac shade. And if you haven't tried Hourglass's powder blush formula, I highly recommend it. They leave the most gorgeous finish. Going in with this big Takeda fluffy white Canadian squirrel brush, dipping into the blush and just pouncing it on the cheeks so that we don't disturb what's underneath. I'm going in quite heavy-handedly with this blush because I really want this look to be glowy and focused on the pinky glow on the cheeks. This look is partially inspired by Gigi Hadid's look at the Met Gala. There were some beautiful makeup looks. Did anybody watch it? Leave me your comments down below and let me know what some of your favorite makeup looks were from the Met Gala. For the star of the show, today I pulled out my Rouge Dior lipstick in shade 784. Look at how beautiful this packaging is. You could see the texture on the side of the lipstick. 784 shade is this beautiful magenta color. It's perfect for spring and summer. So I'm just gonna go straight in and saturate the middle of the lips. And then going in with my Bisciotto lip brush, it's also Kolinsky, to go in and perfect the edges. For lip liner, I brought out the Dior lip liner in 999. It's their classic red, so it doesn't perfectly match this lip shade, but it does pair well with it. And I'm just ever so slightly overlining my Cupid's bow and just following along the vermilion border everywhere else. This lipstick shade doesn't even need a lip liner. Honestly, you could totally wear it on its own. I'm just taking my Takeda KQ12S Kolinsky brush and cleaning up the edges. Taking my Natasha Denona contour powder, and this is the perfect contour powder for my nose contour. Just taking a little bit along the sides of my nose, connecting it to the inner corner of my eyebrows. I'm using the Patrick Ta for Contour 3 dual-sided brush. For the bottom lashes, I'm going to be using this YSL Lash Clash mascara. I got this little trial size sample from Sephora since I don't have the full size, so I'm just going to be trying it out for the bottom eyelashes. Since on the top, I already have Lashify eyelashes on. I'm just going to go back in with the YSL bronzer, and I'm using this new Yoshiki brush that I got from Fude Bobo. It's just a nice fluffy natural hair brush for the crease. Going back in with the YSL bronzer, and I'm just going to throw a little bit of this bronzer just to really tie in the whole look together and have some of the same tones that I used on my face also on my eyes. I'm not being very precise with this application. I'm just kind of throwing it into the general eye socket area and bringing it in to meet where I have previously put that nose contour. I'm going to take a flat paddle brush, and I'm just going to be putting a little bit on the lower lash line. Now you can totally leave this look like this, but I'm just tempted to add this Tom Ford powder highlighter. This one's in the shade 02 Nude Sand, and it's a gorgeous powder highlight. I'm just going in with this flat Hakuhodo brush. This one's also Kolinsky, dipping into the powder highlight, putting a little bit on the brow bone. Even though I've already put that Dior liquid highlighter on, this will really make it pop. I'm going to put a little bit along the top of my nose and a little bit on the tip of the nose. I'm going to take another brush in that Yoshiki series. This is a collab by Fude Bobo and Koyudo, dipping into the Tom Ford highlighter and going into the inner corner of the eye. This kind of helps elongate the eye and make that inner corner nice and bright. Little tiny bit on the point of the chin. Just gonna go in with this Hourglass eyeliner. It's their 1.5 millimeter eyeliner in the shade Obsidian. It's just a black. And I just like to draw a tight line on the inner corners just to deepen up that lash line just a little bit and make the cluster eyelashes that I have stuck on to my real ones look a little bit more natural. As a final step, I'm going in with the new Hourglass Vanish powder. I got this shade Translucent. I'm just going to take a little bit on the same Nikki LaRose N14 brush and put a little bit in the T-zone area. Since I have combination skin, I start to get oily in the T-zone first. This is a really beautiful powder. I do recommend it. I'm also going to take a little bit of that Tom Ford Nude Sand highlighter on my Sonia G. This is the Fan M, and I'm just going to dust the top of the cheekbones. You could also take this highlighter and put it all over the lid. That would be really pretty too with this look, but I think I'm just going to leave it there so that the focus is all on the lips and on the pink glowy cheeks. And that's the look, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this look. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the products I used. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. Please let me know your thoughts, and yeah, leave me a comment down below letting me know what you'd like to see next.